All right, Super Bowl 52, Patriots versus Eagles, the number one seed in the AFC versus the number one seed in the NFC. It should be a good one. Patriots, a 5.5-point favorite at Betsafe, 47.5 the total in this one. Now, in talking about this game, the starting point is pretty obvious. Tom Brady versus Nick Foles. In Brady, you have maybe the best quarterback in NFL history, a guy coming off yet another MVP caliber season. In Foles, you have, well, a guy who's been discarded by 3 teams in his 6-year career, a guy who's been very inconsistent throughout his time in the NFL, and who had really settled into a role as a backup before Carson Wentz went down with that injury in Week 14. So look, Brady versus Foles is the headline matchup here. That's why New England's favored. It's why some people aren't giving the Eagles much of a chance. But you know what? You look a little bit deeper here, and I think the Eagles could really pose some problems for the Patriots. Let's go ahead and talk about a few ways this game could play out. Philly's big advantage here is up front. The Eagles could and should control the line of scrimmage really on both sides of the ball. This Philly defensive front is just so good. First in the league against the run this season, surrendering just 79.2 rushing yards per game and just 3.8 yards per carry. And they can get after the quarterback as well. So Tom Brady really going to be up against it here, much like he was last week against the Jacksonville Jaguars. And remember, that New England offense really had trouble for the first 3 quarters against the Jags. Wouldn't surprise me at all if they had similar trouble against Philly here in this game. The Eagles 4th in the NFL in both total yards allowed and points allowed this season, surrendering just 18.4 points per game. The Philadelphia offense has been explosive all season, but it really all starts up front with that big, tough offensive line. I do look for that line to open up some holes here for running backs Jay Ajayi and LeGarrette Blount. And boy, what a 1-2 punch Ajayi and Blount have become. Ajayi averaging 5.8 yards per carry since joining the Eagles from Miami midseason. And he'll be facing a New England run defense here that really struggled throughout the regular season. The Patriots surrendered 4.71 yards per rush this season. Only one team in the NFL, the LA Chargers, was worse in that area. So look, I think New England's primary focus in this game is going to be slowing down Jay Ajayi and LeGarrette Blount, trying to force Nick Foles to beat the defense with his arm. And that way, it's going to be very similar to the plan they had against the Jacksonville Jaguars last week when they really ganged up on Leonard Fournette and that Jaguars rushing attack and tried to put the pressure on Blake Bortles. The difference is Nick Foles has some elite weapons in the passing game, guys like Zach Ertz, Alshon Jeffrey, that Blake Bortles just didn't have. And New England was vulnerable against the pass this season as well, 30th in the NFL in passing defense. But you know what? It's not all bad news for this Patriots defense. As a matter of fact, they really started playing much better football over the second half of the season. The Patriots have held 12 of their past 14 opponents to 20 points or fewer. So look, even though they've given up a lot of yards this season, Matt Patricia has figured out how to turn this defense into a quality unit, and they have been quite stingy here over the past several weeks. And it's not like the Philly defense is unbeatable. As good as they are up front, they're just okay in the secondary, 17th against the pass this season. They were victimized several times. Most recently, Week 15, Eli Manning lit them up for 434 yards and 3 touchdowns. So look, Tom Brady is going to have some opportunities in this game if his line can keep him upright. Obviously, the Eagles are going to be trying all they can to get after Brady. But if Brady's got some time, he will be able to pick apart this Philadelphia secondary. And that's really what it comes down to here. Will Philadelphia's dominance up front be enough to offset the brilliance of Tom Brady and this New England offense that led the league this season in yards per game and finished second in points scored? Obviously, it's tough to bet against Brady in situations like this. We've just seen him do it so often. But I'll tell you what, I think 5.5 points is a big number. The Belichick-Brady Patriots have won 5 Super Bowls. 4 of those Super Bowls they won by 4 points or fewer. And the only one they didn't, that was last year, and that was in overtime. Remember, they raced that 28-3 deficit against the Atlanta Falcons, won that game 34-28 in overtime. So the Patriots winning a Super Bowl by 6 points or more, a very rare occurrence indeed. And even though I like their chances to pull out the win here, I think Tom Brady might pull a rabbit out of the hat one more time. I think the Eagles a good-looking bet as a 5.5-point underdog. I'm on that side of it.